We're talking about most embarrassing moments from high school.
So mortified that he saw that.
Shit on a dick, man. At home, we had a lot of cats. I went to school one day, and every time I would go to class, in between class, I kept smelling shit. But then when I was in class, it went away. And then the minute I would go get ready to go to my next class, I'd be like, God, there is that shit smell again. It smells awful. And then about halfway through the day, I was walking down the hallway, and I looked at my backpack, and the straps of my backpack, one of my cats had shit all over the belt, like the buckle part on there, and it was deep in the cracks in there. Kind of had a lot of cats growing up, so you couldn't keep track of them, and one would get pregnant, and you wouldn't know that they had babies until, like, a new cat would walk out, and you'd be like, what? That's not ours. But then it was yours.
He was the music director of my high school musicals, but he was only like a year and a half older, so it wasn't creepy.
I was a big fan of Vanilla Ice, and I asked my hairdresser, that's right, I went to the same hairdresser as my mother, her name was Maxine. I didn't think it was weird that I was the only fella there. I asked her to shave something in the back of my head, and we couldn't think of anything cool, so I just said, just shave my name. And so she's back there, and she's like, I feel it for a minute. And then she's like, I'm done. And she turned me around, and she had just, my name is Pete, she had just written P-E-T. She thought she was done. She just did a really big pet, P-Pet, in my head. And then we were like, my name's Pete, not Pet. This is time we're teasing is at a high, a lifetime high, teasing.
For some reason, I don't think I got really embarrassed in high school, but now looking back on numerous stories, I'm horrified.
Mine has to be my prom career. It's not a moment, it's a whole career. Because you have a couple of chances at prom. Junior prom, if you're cool enough, and then senior prom. Everybody goes to senior prom, unless you're like sick with mono or something.
I mean, I can think of a few embarrassing moments involving nuns where I was caught reading the Bible upside down, which I guess they thought was borderline sort of satanic worship style.
On Valentine's Day, once I came to school, and everybody in my class like rushed up to me, and they were like, somebody left you a Valentine on your desk. I was like, oh boy, who's in love with me? And so this whole mass of maybe like 20, 25 students all followed me to my desk. There was an envelope there, and I opened it up, and it was a letter from a guy in my class. His mom wrote me a letter asking me if I would like to go to the movies with her son.
In high school, I got super into Frank Sinatra music, and so I was like, oh, this is my thing. And I went to this graduation party. My friends had a graduation party. There was a band playing, and I was like, excuse me, guys. Do you guys know more by Frank Sinatra? More than the greatest love the world has known. The first word came out of my mouth, and I was like, this is a mistake. People just looking like, what? Why did you do this? Like, I don't know.
Not only did I choose to dance to a stripper song, I also clearly did not have a big part in the performance in the first place.
We tried to put a tiny E, so it looked like Pet E, but the E was so messed up that it looked like an F, and that's where I got my nickname, Pet F.